Welcome to the Starting Over podcast. I'm your host, Edward Shelton, aka Dark Logos, and this is a show where we talk about the strategies, tactics, and mechanics behind the game of heroclix. All right, today's episode is going to be real interesting. I got a lot of stuff to try to compact into an hour. Okay. So first off, thanks to everyone that I met at Origins. Shout outs to, if you were on video, shout outs to you. If you said hello to me, shout outs to you. If you're like, you saw me playing Battle Royales and couldn't talk to me, shout outs to you. You all have really made me have a really great Origins. Interacting with everyone was more of a highlight than doing well in teams. So, next up is, I know there's a lot of stuff going on with states. I know for us, we're having our Missouri State Championship in a couple of weeks at Game Cafe in Independence, Missouri. So definitely if you want to come and take the Missouri State Championship, come battle it out and play me. So, all right, here's what we're going to go through today, and it's going to be a little bit rough. We're going to do a little brief what's in your head, then we're going to do some figure rundowns, mainly looking at the new, pretty much I think it's like the Fast Forces Avengers set, and then we're going to be looking at Age of Ultron OP, SLOP, which is sort of sad. They really need to work on their acronyms. They got to think of something because it's horrible. So we'll be looking at that. Okay. Let's start off with what's in your head, and this is the main thing that I learned from Origins and my new expansion of understanding. It's different running a team. It's very different running a team than just taking care of yourself. If you're running a team, you're taking care of individuals. You're making sure that their logistics are straight. You're making sure that they're in the right mindset. You're making sure that they're breaking. And if they do break and something goes wrong and they can't get there, you take accountability for that. I had that happen. I cost Mace a chance at getting into top 32. So I took accountability for that. But I also had to make sure I handled that in a way that wouldn't put him on tilt going into top 32 of teams. So there's tons of things that you yourself, if you're going to be leading a team, it's not just I get my buddies together, but can you handle and manage the multiple personalities of the people on your team? Andre, and I think it was like day 4 or 5, and he's in charge of Team Rubicon. He pretty much put it best. It's better to have a team full of personalities that get together than just have a bunch of good players. And I definitely saw that firsthand. You can have great pools for teams. You can have great players, but if your teammates aren't rooting for you and they really don't like you, the whole experience becomes bitter. It was really great having Dragon and Mace just be like, come on, buddy, get your head back in the game. Come on, we're going to do this. And then I'm doing the same for them. And so it's huge. If you're going to have a team and they're going to be doing singles and doubles, you have to make sure that you have a tough choice. And it was a tough choice that I was about to make it from a player standpoint, but only see a handful of teams, or you sit out, don't play, and you scout everyone that you know that's a serious player, or any team that you think is a threat to your opponent, to your teammates. And that's rough, because everyone's usually a player first. but having someone scout out stuff and get information is priceless. So it comes back to, where are you going to act based on a team or based on individuals? Lastly, divvying out prizes in team worlds. Pretty much what we did, and I made the decision call on that, was for the single LEs, we would divvy them up based off of overall performance. Okay, so Mace did the best, so he was able to pick first. Then Dragon did second best. He picked second. I did horrible day 2, so I picked last. But we did it like a snake draft, where they picked Wolverine and Batman, and I picked up Spider-Ham and Adam Strange. Okay, and then they picked out the rest. Okay, and then when we went to the big stuff, I then we went to roll off for the bigger stuff, but we pretty much just divvied it out. And so when it comes to how you're going to do prize support and prizing, you have to have that established ahead of time so people know what to expect, or at least you as the leader need to know what you're going to do. You can't try to do it at the last minute, and you can't feel guilty at the last minute. You just need to go ahead and be like, I'm doing this, I'm doing this. Bam, that's it, I'm done. Okay. Some teams prize split in the sense that whoever places, they all take their prizes and put in the big pool and then split it between everyone. That's good too. The main thing I would say is, if your team gets larger and you get a whole lot of prize support that you're not going to use, have a person that's, dedicated to selling stuff on eBay and then physically pay everyone out money. Paying out money might seem a little bit like, oh, but that's against the spirit of the game. But realistically, that's the best option. Definitely when you're looking at World Cup and money being on the line at the end, having teammates there to sort of push you through and you operating as a team makes it financially more beneficial for everyone to come in as a collective and prize split than it does for single individuals to go in by themselves, or even have your team going in there and then having people being paid purely on their ranking. Now, with that being said, if a person does, perform really well, then they should get a significant cut. But they also need to know that they also have to pay out for the rest of the team. So it gets frustrating because, like, for me, I had mental breakdown at one point in time when I found out, like, hey, I stopped Mace from, qualifying for top 32 for singles. And in less than an hour, I had to play for our own top 32 as teams. You will have what the heck moments going into day 2 for singles, and everyone's running Faust. The night before, I had the whole team sit down while we're eating, Greek dinner and say, what are we running? We're not leaving this table until we decide what we're running. Okay? And it takes some guts, but everybody also has to respect you when you make that sort of decision. If you're the guy that's like, well, man, I think we should stay here and figure out what we're going to run. I think that would be a good idea. What do you guys think? They're not going to listen to you. Okay? But the compromise with that, when your teammates like, I'm going to run this, and you vehemently say, this is bad, understand when you just need to give it up and move on. Because I had that happen too. Okay? So these are just some lessons that I've learned. And hopefully, if anyone's thinking about doing a team in the future, this little bit of information will help you sort of get a jump on things. If it wasn't for Andre, I wouldn't have a good premise or foundation for running a team. After running the team this year, I have a better grasp of team fundamentals and team dynamics. So that's, like I said, it's something for you all to think about, and something for you all to dive into. And I saw some people that listened to the show and they were in singles and they were in teams, and I sort of wish I could just have given them that information using, my magical time travel powers. But, oh well, that didn't happen. All right, so let's look at this classic Avengers Fast Forces pack. And we're going to look at Age of Ultron. All right, so let's start off with Ant-Man. He starts off at 75 points, and it's not worth 75 points for a 75-point dial. I know they all have the Avengers founder trait, but it's really it's okay. It's not that great. Then it's I Pack a Punch. This is what you want to pay for. Ant-Man can activate Close Combat Expert as a combat action when he does when he chooses Close Combat Expert. He has, I guess, the standard damage until your next turn. So you can charge and Close Combat Expert. That part is great, and you get that for 50 points. So if you're looking for a cheap filler, then that stage it's a good idea. So I like that, and he comes in with an 18 defense. So rookie Ant-Man over experienced Ant-Man. Next up is Wasp. Again, 75 points for I don't really like this. She gets access to Energy Explosion. When she does, the damage dealt to hit characters with penetrating damage is if they have two action tokens. Again, too many stipulations for 75 points. At 50 points, really good support piece. Stealth, 2 targets, enhancement, tiny, really good stuff. Then you have Iron Man. Iron Man comes in at 150, and it's okay. He starts off with charge and running shot, so he has the options to go use that. He also gives off enhancement to another person, has that Avengers founder trait. Then he has Moonbeam, Mono Beam. Sorry. Iron Man can use Psychic Blast. When he does, he can use improved targeting, ignores hindering, and destroys blocking. That's not bad. That's really not bad, and you get it at 150. But the problem comes in is that when you're really looking at it, for how much damage output you have, you're overpaying. Yes, charge, running shot combo is great, but Mono Beam does not make it worth 150 points. Go down to him at 100 points, still not worth it for 100 points. We have tons of other figures that are way better for 100 points. All right, next up is Hulk, and Hulk comes in at a whopping 150, and I hate to say it, if you're looking for a Hulk, this is not your Hulk. At 100 points, I don't think he's worth it. Some people might say he is. At charge, 11 attack, 4 damage, Battle Fury with Transporter, that's not bad. But my main problem is he's just too easy to kill in this meta. He just is. We have so many characters with running shot, pulse wave, 4 base damage that like one perplex boop, one shot Hulk. So no, don't play him. Then you have Thor coming in at 150, and again, it's like, ugh, what is this? And his 100-point version, same thing. It's like, ugh, what is this? Now, I could see if you ran the Book of the Skull and gave him running shot at 100 points, he would have a 13 attack and 4 damage. That would be really awesome with Indomitable. And that, like I said, that would be really awesome, but his dial's too short. He's easy to kill in this meta. All right, and last but not least is Captain America. And I think Captain America is probably going to be the most abused. Not at 100, but at 50 points. Avengers founder, when adjacent to other friendly characters with this trait, Captain America can use Empower. Doesn't matter. You're not really going to play the rest of these guys. Maybe Ant-Man at best. Avengers Assemble, give Captain America power action and choose another friendly character that shares a keyword with him that doesn't have 2 action tokens. That character is immediately given a move action as a free action with their speed value halved for this action. Now, this is really cool because you give him an entity or give him a construct from a battery, all of a sudden he has another keyword. So there's ways to manipulate this. You can welcome him to the Legion, and there's a ton of fun things that you can do with this. Charge, precision strike, 2 damage. You're not overpaying. Probably the best 50-point option that you're going to get out this whole thing, like really. So if you really like that, if I'll just say if you really like movement and you need some additional movement, and you have a way to give Captain America additional keywords, go play it. Just go play it. He might be really good once you get a Captain America ID card. He might be one of the best caps to call in. If you're running an Avengers team, it's just like, oh, I need to get up there, call in Cap, move this guy. All right, now I am in perfect position to charge or hypersonic speed or whatever else. So it's great overall. The Hank Pym ID card, modify range values by +3 when using Outwit or Perplex, modify defense values by +3 when attacked by opposing character with the robot keyword. That second part's a little bit too situational. You're mainly banking on bringing out a decent Giant Man or Ant-Man. So it's really sort of rough. So overall, I can't really recommend this Fast Forces. I did buy one to get the Hank Pym ID card, but that's really it. I hate to say it like that. There could be potential in the future, but nah. I'm not stressing it. Okay, so let's do this. We're gonna go into the Age of Ultron storyline OP kit. I'm gonna say this. I played last night. It's sort of fun within itself. There's a couple of figures in there that's like, this is dumb. You shouldn't have put this in here. The main which is the Chase Ultron, which I pulled and selling on eBay right now. But I really got to say that it's completely unfair. 2 stop clicks with a 13 attack, 6 damage, and you have a Mega Quake. That is dumb. That's dumb for 300 points. Constructed play, I don't see it winning. In the OP storyline, it's dumb. It's way too overpowered for the OP kit. I mean, for the OP set. So I don't approve of it. And please, everyone, understand, my analysis of the set is for constructed play only, not for sealed OP stuff. Okay? The main reason is that I don't know your pulls. I really don't know your pools, so I can't say like, yeah, this is the best, automatically play this. You could have better stuff in there, and then you'll trust me because I'm the guy that you're listening to right now, and then you'll lose. So just respectfully, go to HC Realms and look at whatever the guy that does the previews for the sets and sealed. Read that. I recommend you to do that over than you using what I'm saying right now as a benchmark. Okay, so let's get into it. First off, you're going to notice this trend. And this trend is, I'm pretty much not liking the full dials. Most of these are going to be like, yeah, play the rookie version if you want to play it. So let's start off. Hank Pym, 50 points. Sidestep, in-cap, outwit. He's standard size. When he makes a move or close combat action that deals no pushing damage after action resolve, replace him with any character with this trait. And if this character starting the game on his 50-point starting line, the characters replaced can't be healed past the 50-point starting line, which is fine. Okay? What I like is that you can sidestep, activate his trait, and then drop in one of the other Ant-Man, Hank Pyms, or whatever else. So that's awesome. You start off with Outwit, Energy Shield Deflection, and then you get a second click on Outwit. It is Hank Pym can use Outwit and Probability Control. So for 50 points for Sidestep, In-Cap, Energy Shield Deflection, and Outwit or Outwit and Prob, it's a really good deal. You get Ultron's father. Friendly characters modify their attack values by +1 when attacking a character with Ultron in their name. If not already modified by this effect, opposing characters with Ultron in their name can't target Hank Pym unless all friendly characters on the map are named Hank Pym. Which, okay, whatever. It makes it so that you can't be like, I run an army of Ant-Mans. You can't target me, period. Okay, cool. Alright, so next up is Ant-Man at 50. And he has the improved targeting, ignores hindering, ignores characters, which is pretty good for his perplex. And temporary Pym particles, Ant-Man can use charge, sidestep, and stealth. Give Ant-Man a free action, and an adjacent friendly character with the Starburst standard symbol has either tiny or giant. Now this is big. This is a big deal because all of a sudden your ranged combat attacker is now tiny, so they can be carried around, or the one person that you really need to carry around but can't normally is now tiny. Your Super Scroll, you don't have to give him Earthbound anymore to carry him around. Your what's her name? Coriander, you don't shrink her down. The implications for this is huge because all of a sudden the mobility of characters that normally couldn't get around, either they had to be the taxi and they're primary attackers, so you're able to get around the use of TK. Now I know you're going to say Dark Logos, you can get a good attacker and get TK, and I understand that, and you could get it for less, or even get really good support and an attacker for less with TK. But what I'm more looking at is this: the fact that you get perplex, you get sidestep, so you can turn into another Hank Pym, into another Ant-Man or Giant Man or whatever else. So you have options, and you're able to manipulate your sideboard really well. So if you need Outwit, you got it. If you need Perplex, you got it. So between Hank Pym and Ant-Man, these two combos are really solid at 50 points. Next up is Wasp. Actually, we're just going to skip that because it's not that good. I know. Okay, here it is. All right, Alexis. Alexis, I'm going to say this. I think that she has potential in the future. And the main reason I say that is she starts off, she has a 9 movement phasing, she flies. She doesn't have Indomitable, but she has Prob and she has Precision Strike. I think she benefits from a sniper rifle. I also think she benefits from a crossbow. She has a lot of damage output ability that she could use. And that's the part I like. She gets, on her clicks 4 and 5, and she's really short, she gets Defend and Perplex. So the whole entire time she is offering you support. And if you know what you're doing, you can sort of shift back and forth. The main thing I like is that she's a phasing taxi. And that can be huge depending on your matchup. So I'm not going to say she's the best support that you can get in the game, but I will say that she does offer you a mobility option that's really not that common. She opens up the option to you to play indoor maps or highly walled maps and still be able to do your maneuvering. All right. Next up is, where did she go? She-Hulk. I like She-Hulk at the 75 point version. This She-Hulk allows you, when she's not part of a theme team, to allow you to re-roll again. And that is huge. For 75 points, she is 5 clicks, which is more acceptable to me than paying 100 points. She has regen, she gets impervious, she has willpower from her special power, and when She-Hulk is adjacent to a character that can use Perplex, she can use Perplex until your next turn. And it doesn't even have to be a friendly character. So, Charge, Flurry, Super Strength, overall, I gotta say, it's really good. And you can come back and just use any of her options to your benefit. I don't think there's anything bad with what she brings to the table at 75 points. Next up is, this one's going to seem strange to most people because you can get hosed. And I normally don't recommend characters that you could get hosed. But it's Hulk. And Hulk being able to have 11 attack, 4 damage for 80 points puts him into the, oh my gosh, one of the best secondary attackers in the game. The problem is he can like lose his stats and be crappy, which is like, oh my gosh, you are the worst support in the game. But bear with me. If you have a 1 in 3 chance of being screwed, if you're not getting screwed over by his little trait thing, then guess what? He's going to pick up a heavy, perplex up his attack, and then he's hitting for 6 for 80 points. It really does not get better. It just doesn't. And if he gets smacked really hard, he just goes and regens. Now, he's not indomitable, but for 80 points, I really don't want to pay more. So I like this. I want WizKids to do more of this. Give me a downside for playing the character, but make him a little OP. All right. Next up is Ultron Drone. 8. Ultron 8 Drone. Now, I'm bringing this up because I ended up having a cool interaction with a client. And, client privacy, so I'm not going to say who. But he's going into a tough situation. And we did talk about a Ultron option. Whether or not he plays that is a whole different story. I cannot confirm nor deny. But Ultron 8 has a very interesting thing with his trait. And it's Ultron 8 costs 120 points or costs 30 points. And begins on click 1 after the orange KO until KO. Ultron is considered 120 points. This is big for multiple reasons. Multi-target mind control, if it goes over 150 points, the person takes feedback damage, but Ultron is considered 120 points. Not only that, you are able to use the Avengers Roundtable or ID cards to summon in a 120 point character. The biggest of the uses is, and this is going to sound stupid, but he is the new Highfather protection. If you have a major attacker that is under 120 points, and it's the huge sum of your offense, Ultron Drone, oh, Highfather, you packed my vacuum cleaner. The robot vacuum cleaner. Yeah, he's sort of big. I know you thought he looked real scary. All he does is sit in the back and vacuum. The other benefit of Ultron Drone is with the new orange battery ruling saying like, oh, you have to use improved targeting to take it away if you don't possess it. The fact that you have sharpshooter, you're just able to be like, no improved targeting for you. That's huge. That's huge. Now you might say like, oh, Dark Logos, I can get other sharpshooters or other improved targeters. That's fine, but the click 2 is sort of dumb. You start off on click 1 with sidestep, 10 attack, 3 damage like all the Ultron drones. But once you get to click 2 where you're able to say running shot, psychic blast, 17 defense, invulnerability, 4 damage, that's a little stupid for 30 points. That is better than Skady's Warbot. So let's just bring it up real quick. Okay, so Skady's Warbot is 30 points, 10 movement, 11 attack, super senses, indom, 3 damage, leadership. Now that indom, you're going to say, but Dark Logos, that indom, that's real awesome. Yeah, but you're also vulnerable to poison. You're vulnerable to precision strike, and you're going to say like, yeah, so is Ultron Drone. I understand that. But your opponent on average is going to have to do 3 damage to kill you versus just hit you. And 4 damage over 3 damage. And the running shot distance is about the same. So I gotta give it up to Ultron 8 Drone. It's just superior. It protects you from Highfather, allows you to summon in higher point characters, really pretty much your core characters with the ID cards, like the Target exclusive Black Widow, Target exclusive not Target exclusive, Age of Ultron, not Iron Man. I keep wanting to say Iron Man. Hawkeye. You have tons of options. You can when we get the Hulk card, you can summon in the Hulk. That 80 point Hulk, just I'm here, or Thor. I think there is a 120 point Thor. I'm going to check real quick because I think it was in Marvel 10th. If you could summon in that Thor, that would be dumb because he was way too good. Yeah, you can. He's 120 points. Running shot, 11 attack, 4 damage, 2 targets. Impervious. Thor is here, to quote StarCraft 2. So, overall, you know, in Avengers Initiative TA. So, like, overall, like, this dude is game changer. And he's a common. If you don't pull one, you can trade your buddy $1 and get this one. Okay? Don't go out on eBay and buy like 3 of them or anything like that. It's not that good in multiples. By itself, it does way too much. It's way too good. Okay, so let's move on. Everyone's going to look at Hercules, but mainly Hercules for the ID cards. And I'm going to tell you the truth. At 220, there's very few figures that can summon in Hercules. But at 130, there's a lot more. And so you're going to most likely see Hercules being summoned in at a 130 starting line. All right. Next up is Jocasta, and she's an entity, and everybody's talked about how stupid she is and whatnot. I'm going to tell you the pros of Jocasta. I'm going to tell you the cons of Jocasta because I'm a responsible individual. Pros. Very few entity possessions start you off with running shot. I think it's only Black Hand. Also, Precision Strike. I think this is the only one with Precision Strike. You also have access to her special power sensors coming online. Jocasta can use Outwit, Perplex, but only to target characters within 3 squares. That's not bad, but you can target yourself if you need it. Invulnerability up front is not bad. Access on sidesteps on clicks 2 through 5 is great. Pulse Wave on clicks 4 and 5 is great. Access to Range Combat Expert. I don't think there's an entity that gives you Range Combat Expert. In Dial, 6 and 7, Stealth, Shape Change, and Regen. Really good options. The cons. Her stats are crapola. Purely crapola. You're not going to be getting bonuses off of her on average. On average, you're going to at best get +1 attack. Yeah, +1 attack. And maybe a +1 damage if your character goes that low. The other thing is that you're really not going to see Jocasta fully maximized on a high point figure because of the stats issue. But Jocasta on a low point figure could possibly make that figure really powerful, but at the same time, you have to say, if I had spent 50 to 75 points total with Jocasta on that figure, could I get something better for 50 to 75 points with the same armor or robot keyword? And that's the last disadvantage, that armor or robot keyword. Now, if you're playing Theme Team, yeah, this is great. But otherwise, I don't see this working out. Now, here's something that was brought up. I think it was on Clicks TV or Generation Clicks. I forgot which one it was. But they were just pointing out playing Jocasta at 130 is probably what more people are going to end up doing. Oh, and also you get to use, I think, all their abilities. So you get access to Indom. So you can have full dial willpower, which, you know, take it or leave it. I don't disagree with the viability of Jocasta as a 130 point figure, fighting it out, then dying, then going on a robot or armor character. My problem comes in is that it's like the same thing with Ancient One. You're betting this one obscure bet, and when it finally goes off, you're down a character to get a minute power up. So I really don't see the full advantage of that. Now, truthfully, I can be wrong. You know, someone else can prove me wrong on that, but I mean, this is just my first initial thoughts on that. Okay, next up is Ultron 5. And the only reason I'm going to bring up Ultron 5 is I really like him with a charge, steel energy, Anger's hammer. Because with Masters of Evil, and then he has the Crimson Cowl as Jarvis, Ultron can use shape change and modify his result by +1 for each adjacent opposing character to a maximum of +2. So it gives him added survivability. end dial. But he starts off with knockout gas gun. Ultron can use smoke cloud at the beginning of your turn. As markers are removed, deal each opposing character occupying a square with one of these markers 1 damage and give them an action token. So you're doing damage, plus you're able to sort of stun them. Okay, so that's great. Next, Organizers the Masters of Evil. Ultron can use leadership. When he uses leadership, friendly characters with the Masters of Evil keyword are considered to be fewer points than Ultron, and he may place a friendly character within 8 squares and with the Masters of Evil keyword adjacent to him before rolling the d6. So you could be like, oh, Tiger Shark, you're about to die if I leave you there and you have 2 tokens. But you're within 8 squares. I'm going to pop you over, Tiger Shark. Roll leadership. Oh, I got a 4, but don't care. I saved Tiger Shark. It's a reverse, indigo battery effect. It's a bat signal. It's a ghetto bat signal. And instead of being like, oh, a power action, this is a free action. And you get this at the start of your dial. So overall, I really like this. He's 8 clicks deep, 120 points, low defense, okay, steady attack, steady movement. But the hugest thing is he provides a killer amount of support for your Masters of Evil teams at 1,000 points. And he's able to just yank people all over the map and just be like, bloop, you're by me now. So definitely consider him, witness him as he goes and fights. Now, the Ultron 5 drone, I'm going to bring that up because for 30 points, getting sidestep, super strength, and enhancement on his click 2 is dumb. That's really good. And to make people understand how good it is, I think the cheapest enhancement that we ever got in the game was like 17 points. And it was that one chick from the, what was it? It was a Fast Forces, Jonah Hex Fast Forces, okay? That was the cheapest enhancement we ever got in the game. On average, cheap enhancement has been 25 to 35 points. For the fact that, yeah, he has an 11 attack, a 6 range, in enhancement, in super strength, in sidestep. So he can enhance one guy and then sidestep to the next guy that's going to shoot, and it doesn't cost you an action. And then if you have a third guy that you need to shoot, you can move him. It's really strong. So I'm not going to say like, oh, this is the moon and here you go. But if you start understanding your placement advantage that you have with a 30-point free moving enhancer with super strength, it can change your game. It can definitely change your game. Here's the other cool thing. Autonomous or drone mode. Ultron 5 costs 60 points or costs 30 points and begins the game on click 1 after the orange KO. Until KO'd, Ultron 5 is considered 60 points. So he can summon in 60-point Avenger guys. Okay? Basic programming. When Ultron has no action tokens... when Ultron 5 has no action tokens, its actions don't count against your action total. When Ultron 5 begins or ends a non-free action adjacent to a friendly character whose name includes Ultron, it can use willpower for that action. So you can power up your other Ultrons, which if you run, again, like an Ultron 8 drone and an Ultron 5 drone, now they have willpower. So that can be really big. All right. I'm going to bring this up out of obligation, not actually because I really like it. Black Panther. Frustrated with how bad he is. Now, some folks might say, but Dark Logos, he can't be targeted, and he's a ninja, and he has charge and sidestep and toughness, and he has all that stuff, that hand stuff that you love to play. Why don't you like Black Panther? Well, his damage output is crap, 440 points, and he's 7 clicks deep, which I appreciate, but we have other Black Panthers that are around that point range that have better stats. I mean, I really hate to say it, you're paying way too much for Stalking My Prey and Cloaking Tech. You just are. So, it just frustrates me. Now, the leadership is nice. The outwit is nice. The perplex is nice. But it sort of does put Black Panther back into I am your support role. And at 140 points, that's way too much for your support. Next up is Quasar. I really don't have to explain why he's good. But I am anyway. 225 points, running shot, psychic blast, invincible, 5 damage, leadership, second click, no running shot, psychic blast, 4 damage, range combat expert, 12 attack. I can only smile. And when you get his ID card, I know most people are going to play and bring him out at 125. At 125, I really can't fully support it, but I sort of like it. Again, put a hammer on it. It's broken. But, man, oh my gosh. If you're looking for a new beat stick to replace your Superman, Quasar's it. He has special power. Drain standard operating procedure. Quasar can use steel energy, but can also use it during range combat attacks. He gets that near the later half of his dial. Then he has quantum shielding. Quasar can use energy shield deflection and invulnerability. So he has damage reduction for a majority of his dial. And then he has contain standard operating procedure. When Quasar targets and damages a single opposing character after actions resolve, he can use barrier as a free action, but may only place blocking terrain markers adjacent to the hit character. Oh, guess what, guy who doesn't fly that I just single target pulse wave for 3? You were contained. You're not going anywhere. Too bad you don't have improved movement, ignores blocking. And at 9 range and power cosmic, I don't have any complaints. I really don't. So it's really strong. Really, really strong. Oh, man. Good stuff. Real good stuff. All right. Let's keep on moving on down. Where is it? I'm going to bring up Ultron 7 drone for a brief moment. And the only reason is that if you need control, it can do really well. Running shot, in cap, impervious. It gives you a minor upgrade of survivability, but it's only if you need control. Otherwise, I wouldn't recommend it. Oh, man. Ultron, Phalanx, I hate you with... I played you and I won with you, but I hate you. That's the worst part. Like... I played with it, won with it, hated it. Like, it's just not fair for Sealed. The drone dial is not bad at 120. I mean, I'm just going to be honest. The drone dial is not bad at 120. It's rather deep. The only problem is it really doesn't have a lot of movement attack. It has this cool special power. Ultron can use phasing teleport. When he uses phasing teleport, he may use the carry ability and carry up to 4 characters with the robot keyword and doesn't modify his speed value. So you could just bamf on top of somebody and oh, here's 4 of my homies. Here you go, with my 8 movement phasing. And that's really your only gimmick. That's it. Other than that, I could just say all right, if you're really trying to utilize that dial, and you have something that's going to go off with him being 8 clicks deep and a lot of damage reduction, plus he has regen. That's a positive. In-dial mind control is not bad, but it's not that useful. This Ultron is more tanking than he's doing anything else. Now, let's look at this drone at 30. This drone at 30 is dumb because it has that teleport thing, okay? He has invincible, okay? He has pulse wave, okay, and he has enhancement. Okay, so a 30-point robot taxi that can just poof robots through walls. That's dumb. That shouldn't have been made. Now someone's going to say, but Dark Logos, we don't have any broke robots. We don't, the robots are fine. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. I'm just going to open up a new tab here in Firefox. I'm gonna do something. I'm going to go to Modern Age, and we're going to just do any points right now. And we're going to look for one keyword, and that keyword is robot. Okay, we're going to look at robot, then we're going to search. All right, so if you're at home, you want to do the same, feel free. Let's start looking at the robots we can carry, mind you. All right, so let's file it down. Let's just say speed type boot. That makes it real easy. Okay, speed type boot. Let's look at all the people we can carry. All right, Ultron drone, Machine Man, Jocasta, Ultron 5 drone, Ultron 1 drone, Ultron 7, Phalanx Ultron, Recorder 451, Nebula, Isaac, Thanosai, Tyrant, Recorder 211. Can't carry Alpha Class Sentinel because he's a multi-base Fig. Weapon X, Armanzola, Spider-Bots, Dreadnought, Death's Head, Deathlock, White King, Lady Deathstrike, Spiral, Warlock, Warstar, Lady Deathstrike, Justice League Trinity War, Cyborg, The Grid, Shaggy Man, Blight, Ladytron, Tharok, Computo, Kleex, Cyborg, OMAC, Black Queen, Remac, and Brainiac from DC 10th, both of them. That's really good. So there's abuses there. So am I going to say, go drop your money on the chase and buy mine? No. But what I am going to say is this: if more robots come in, which I really think there's going to be, with LMDs popping up inside of Nick Fury and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and you're going to be delusional if you don't think their LMDs are not going to be there. This drone is really powerful. All right, so that's the end of Wave 1. I'm not going to cover the Giant Man, the Hank Pym box set, and all that other stuff. That's not that good. Let's go ahead and look at ID cards. So the ID cards, you have Protector. Inspiration can use probability control when targeted by an opposing character's attack. It's like the inverse of Doctor Strange, where you get probability control when you attack. So if you're looking to be a little bit more defensive, then yeah, this is not bad. Vision can use phasing teleport in the Avengers team ability. Not as awesome. Wasp, modify defense values by +1. Again, go back to my roundtable discussion where I talked about the Avengers roundtable. If you're trying to stack certain effects, then yes, this has its use for inspiration. But other than that, no. Jocasta, inspiration, can use willpower adjacent opposing characters, can't ignore pushing damage. This can be really good, and I can see this ID card going for a lot of money. And Machine Man, opposing characters can't use perplex. Yeah. No. Unless there's some special perplex that comes down the line, or I'm just going to be honest, like Sinestro becomes too much of a pain. That's the only way I see Machine Man being useful. And then Iron Man for right now. I might come back later and look at some of the other ID cards or not. I don't know. Iron Man. Inspiration can use improved targeting, ignores hindering terrain, modify attack value by +1 when making a ranged combat attack. I really like that because it pretty much gives your entire team Avengers initiative for shooting, which is really huge. So, oh man. All right, so overall, I'm not going to say the set is horrible. It's not so far, but we're seeing a depowering. We're also seeing this, hey guys, we're going to give you consistency, but you're either going to be paying a lot for that consistency or getting really short dials for that consistency. And that part, it I don't know whether to be bothered by it or just accept it for what it is. We'll see. We'll see. All right, so that's it for today's episode. I'd like to thank you all for listening. If you have any questions or anything, you can email me at startingoverpodcast@gmail.com. That's startingoverpodcast@gmail.com. Because I need to learn how to talk. You can follow me on Twitter at StartOverPod. It came from outer space and told me heat is coming. If longtime listeners definitely know, once you hear that mild hum in the background, that's the fan. So definitely hit me up there. You would have found out that this episode was going to be hella late. So there you go. Then last but not least, you can check out the blog startingoverpodcast.blogspot.com. I know, my bad, I still haven't put up the Avengers buy list. Sorry. So that's what's, I really apologize on that. Okay. Big announcement. 2 big announcements. Episode 150 is coming up. I'm going to do Ask Me Anything. Try to send me the questions 2 weeks before the show. Next, I'm going to be doing a 4th of July giveaway. I'm calling it Give Us Your Tired, You're Sick, and You're Poor. Pretty much, I have tons of figures that I got from the Battle Royales. And I have another patron of the show. He decided that he really liked my idea. And he's going to donate some CURs to also give away. So here's what's going on. You will get, there will be multiple winners. Multiple winners. So shout outs to Michael because he's bringing this out. So here's what we got. This is just the beginning of it. Okay, this isn't even all of it. A Hulk CUR, a Batman CUR, a Fear Itself CUR, random LEs that he's just like, woohoo, yeah. Red Lanterns from War of Light, a power plant with the disintegration beam, possible Faust and Doctor Strange Con LE. Possible, pending, not guaranteed. Okay? On top of that, I am throwing in random stuff from Flash set, random stuff from Trinity War, random stuff from Avengers Assembled. Okay? Tons of stuff. So, since there is tons of stuff, I'm not limiting it to one person. I'm not limiting it to 2 people. I'm not limiting it to 3 people. I'm not limiting it to 4 people. We're going to do 5 people. 5 people are going to receive massive amounts of swag for free. Now, here's how you qualify. Here's what we're going to do. Okay? Let's try getting this video or the next video up to about, let's say 300 views. 300 views. Okay? Not only that, email me at startingoverpodcast@gmail.com and tell me why you deserve a CUR and why you should get it. Like, hey, I'm new to Clicks. I don't have any of that set. I'm a college student. I don't have too much money. Whatever it may be, give me your reason why you should get some swag. Okay? So, I know you all are like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. But we're doing it big for this this summer. So again, give me your tired, you're sick, and you're poor. So the deadline for that is going to be, let's just say July the 2nd. Let's say July the 2nd. Main reason is that weekend I can announce, like, hey, who got it. Also, again, working for the government, I get the third off. So, yeah, it's awesome. So definitely check that out and hit me up. And I know most of you all are, again, freaking out right now. So, yes. And last but not least, shout out to all my Phoenix Nest fans out there. I got a motto now. Win, lose, start over. All right, with that being said, thanks for listening. And remember, we all got to start over sometime.